Hey everybody, welcome back. Sive Morten here with the ForexPeaceArmy.com. Let's take a look again on the Forex market. So situation is becoming gradually hotter. Here we have really explosive mix of the events today, starting with the Bank of England, then European Central Bank, CPI numbers, some minor data, and in the evening we will have the Bank of Japan starting session. So of course, it really could bring a lot of impact on the markets. And currently, in the current moment, few patterns exist that actually might be formed, and actually it explains why, personally, I do not want to consider taking any long position, at least on the daily and high time frames by far. On intraday charts, it's a separate story, so you could find some minor patterns trying to take the long position there. But when in higher time frames, despite that overall picture looks not bad actually, with good acceleration, small retracement here, well, potentially market could keep going higher, but in the current circumstances, the things that I see on the weekly chart and with the common big events where a situation could drastically change, I prefer to stay aside for a while. Just to disclose you some ideas on the weekly chart, on this week, potentially we could get the bearish grabber. So if trend in fact trend remains bearish here, despite what we talked about previously on the bullish dynamic pressure that we see here, it's really so. But if market will close today below the MACD line, it will be bearish grabber, which suggests taking out of these lows, and situation could change. In fact, if you take a look at the British pound, we already have there this pattern. So it has been formed previous week. Yes, here some challenge exists, market, but it hasn't closed above the top, so nominally this pattern is still valid that we have here on the Great British pound. And with today's coming the Bank of England, who knows what they will tell. So it's supposed that probably it will be a final rate cut in today's session, but it also depends on what they will tell. If it will be significant improved positions of the Great British pound, some more hawkish tone, I will be surprised if we will see downward action here today. So that's actually the patterns that makes me to not hurry up with the decision making on the position taking on daily and higher time frames on euro currency. Besides, if you take a look at 4-hour time frame chart, you could see what has happened. So it was relatively solid drop. Market has formed bearish reversal swing here, so he dropped below these previous lows, and I do not see any problems why market can't show a kind of the ABCD retracement here to reach the predefined level. So for now, the level that we have mentioned previously, around 1680 on average, looks fine to me. So it might be, it is reachable, it might be reached. It's a lot of events today, so but this level is much safer than trying to catch something while my market stands in this consolidation. Yes, nominally and theoretically you could, for example, if you get lucky and taking position, market could just jump explosive out of this consolidation, but this is a clear bet and pure bet on big events results. So personally, I do not know what will happen, and this is a kind of the gambling. And I prefer to apply some more reliable tools, considering positions around strong support areas. Maybe it will happen not even today, maybe tomorrow. But getting some clarity for me, it's more important than trying to just take a position and make the gamble bet on the possible results of the coming events. Besides, in the current circumstance here, it's very difficult to find a correct place for stop placement. So you will have to place it somewhere below these lows, which is not really very close. If we will get some pattern here, maybe got a steeple to buy in this case, probably it might be considered. But in the current moment, I do not see a really good decision for that. Except maybe on the lower time frames, if you're a scalp trader, you could trying to stick with the grabbers that are forming right now here. So you could see here as minor patterns. They suggest minor upward continuation. These patterns do not demand deep placement of the stop order. You could place just below these lows. But as you understand, reliability of these grabbers are also under question. It's not very reliable. But from this cash risk point of view, probably you could try to make this bet, and if you, as I said, get lucky and it's indeed everything turns in your favor, here's might be a really great result with upward action. Speaking about the current situation on the hourly chart, except these scrubbers, what I could say, yesterday we've got great double repo pattern. So initially we talked about possible bread and butter. We suggested the kind of the ABCD pattern here, but instead this was a double repo buy, and that's why the market has shown action back to the 50% resistance, 1753. What options might be for now? If downside action will start, we could get very accurate butterfly that leads market precisely to the same area, 1666. So if I will plan here the extension, you will see that it approximately stands in the same area, which is really great because it coincides with our actual support level. It's one of the scenarios. Alternatively, if market, if nothing really important will happen, nobody will tell something important, market could keep floating inside of this consolidation, and we could get a kind of the guardless triple to sell here as well. So for instance, if we'll get this ABCD pattern, that might be guardless triple to sell. So that's another pattern that we might consider currently. Isolatedly stands these big patterns, which is I draw like the diamond, although it's a very rare pattern. It's just come to my mind that borders looks harmonically, and theoretically it also might be formed, but it's more just for the picture rather than for immediate trading or something like this. For now, it's more important what will happen today with this particular pattern and whether we'll get retracement right there. So that's all information that I have for you right now. My position is to wait for deep retracement, or at least for a clarity. If we'll get clear signs of the upward action, bearish grabber on the weekly chart definitely will be cancelled. If market will show upward action, that might be a different story. In this case, we could consider taking new longs. But for now, with the possible retracement deeper, especially when we see that this drop was relatively fast and kind of the ABCD pattern easily might be formed, I wouldn't hurry up with the decision making and prefer to stay on a conservative approach.